Hi there and welcome. Yesterday we learned about ASCII and how each character has a code associated to it, as well as a binary representation of that number. Well, today let's convert text to binary in JavaScript. By the end of today's lesson, we'll be able to create the following. Cool, so let's get started with some HTML. We're going to want some user input, so let's create a text area element and we'll assign an ID of user input to it. Then above the text area element, let's assign an h2 tag, and inside of the tag, let's put text input so that the user knows the text area element is for text input. Then below the text area element, let's create another h2 tag, and this one will have the text binary output. Below that, we're going to create a div element with a class name of output. Lastly, let's create a convert button because this button will convert our text from the user input and convert it to binary before placing it into the output div. Now let's go ahead and hit save and take a look at how our page looks. Structurally, this looks good to me, so let's move on to some JavaScript and bring our converter to life. So we'll create a script tag, then inside the script tag, let's declare an output variable, and we'll target the output class by using document query selector. Then we'll create a new variable called input, and we'll target the user input. But we can change things up and target it by using getElementById and then passing in the ID. Cool, so how are we going to convert the text? Well, we can create a function that will convert text to binary. I'll name a new function and call it text to binary. Let's go ahead and put a console log of testing inside of the function to make sure that we can target it correctly. I'll add an onClick attribute to our button and then call the text to binary function like so. Now let's hit save and double check that we can target it. Okay, so if I click the button, we are logging testing into the console. Now let's remove the console log, and so first we'll want to take the string from the output and split it into an array. So let's make a new variable named char, and then we can get each character as an element in the array by taking the value of the input, so input.value, and then using the split method and passing in an empty string into it. Now let's log the char array in the console to see what we get. I'll type in some text into the user input, and then I'll click the button, and we can see that we have each character on its own in the console. Now let's convert them. We'll start by creating one more variable, output string. This will be an empty string. Now we'll loop through our char array using the for-each method. I'll pass in x to the callback, and then we'll take the output string and we'll add to it at each iteration. We'll add by using plus equals, and then here we'll have a template literal. To get the key code of each element, we can use the char code at method. And then with the template literal, let's just add one space in the string. Lastly, let's add the output string to the inner text of the output element. Now, if I hit save and add some text, we'll see that we get the character codes, but they aren't in binary. Let's convert them by chaining the toString method inside the template literal and passing in the number 2. Now, if I hit save and then write some more text and then hit the convert button, we'll see it works, and that's awesome. But there's one thing I want to fix. Do you see how if I type the letter AB and then hit the return key, then click the convert button, the binary code for return is only 4 digits. Since ASCII has 128 possible combinations, let's have each binary representation have 7 bits, even if they're zeros. And it's a really easy fix. We'll chain the pad start method right after toString, and we'll pass 7 for 7 digits, and then a string of 0, so that we pad the front of each binary representation with a 0 if it isn't of length 7. Let's go ahead and hit save, and then test it out with some text. So I'll do AB, then return. And then when I convert it, we can see that each binary number is 7 digits long. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to catch you in the next one.